Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Sacramento County Retail Food Facility Restaurant webinar. We're so glad you joined us today. And as some of you who have been here before probably know that we've been doing a number of webinars and will continue to do them. This one is specifically for the food, restaurant, retail industry. We find that those types of webinars are really helpful to folks and they really enjoy the content. So welcome. So I will go over the agenda very quickly. My name is June Livingston and I work for the Business Environmental Resource Center, BERC. And so let's get started. First, we'll have a presentation by our Sacramento County Public Health Officer, Dr. Kassirier. And then the Environmental Management Department, we will have the Director, Marie Wooden, and also Manager, Jania Monasterio. And then we will have Crystal Bethke go into some information about grants. People are very excited about that information, and the team has worked really, really hard to bring some good information to you. So we will start off with Dr. Kassirier in just a moment. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. We will answer some questions live as well, and we'll take this dynamically as it goes. So we will go ahead and get started. And we will also take questions at the end as well. So Dr. Kassirier, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So real quick with the numbers, they haven't been updated for this week because right now we're doing the updates weekly, but this is from last week. The case rate was at 10.4 and we're averaging about 150 to 160 new cases per day. Thinking that it's actually much better now. I've been checking to see if it's been updated yet, but we haven't gotten the new numbers for this week. But anyway, the projections from the state is that the numbers continue to go down. So that is good news. And on the 28th, February 28th, the state did update the masking guidance or mandate and changed it to a strong recommendation for everybody. It is still required in certain settings that are high risk, such as public transportation and also healthcare and congregate settings. And this Friday, the school's mandate will also change to a strong recommendation for everybody. I think it's important for people to think what that means, a strong recommendation. Some of what we're hearing from people is, yay, good, we don't need to wear these masks anymore. I think it's important to realize that we still have COVID floating around, and especially for people that are at high risk, people with conditions like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, kidney disease, lung disease. It would be advisable that they continue to wear masks in public places. Some places have also decided to continue with the masking, and that's something that any of the restaurants can do if they want to continue requiring masks, especially for their employees, they can do that. We, of course, are continuing to recommend that people get vaccinated and get up to date with the booster if they're eligible, because that is our next best protection. So again, vaccinations and masking are still important as we are still looking at where this whole COVID thing is going. Our hope is that the numbers will continue to trend downwards, in which case I know that you probably have heard from the state about some discussions about how do we transition to an endemic phase and how do we learn to live with this new normal. So more details to come on that, but right now it is looking much better. So with that, I'll turn it back to, is it to you, June?
Yes, if we can, are there any other additional questions or any questions for Dr. Kassirier? And if you think of some later, just go ahead and put them in the chat and we will get them answered. Otherwise, I don't see anyone. Oh, is there a hand up? No. Okay. We'll go ahead and go to the environmental. Thank you, Dr. Kassirier. We'll go on to the Environmental Management Department with Director Marie Wooden.
Okay, hi everybody. I wanted to introduce you to Jania Monasterio and Rolando Villarreal. They're two of my deputy chief and deputy chief. Jania is the chief of the Environmental Health Division and Rolando is deputy chief. And they will be explaining about our guidance that we have for you now that we updated since the masking changed, the order changed with the states, the California Department of Health Services. So we went ahead and took those guidelines. And as you're familiar, we have those, we broke it down so it's easier to read for you. So Jania will explain that. And then the good news is the retail food fee waiver relief program. So we work closely with Economic Development Department, and we worked on this project with for the American Rescue Plan Act money that was available to local government. And we submitted this to the Board of Supervisors in January, and it was approved by the board. So we implemented this program in January, starting with our invoicing for the calendar year. So I'm going to go ahead and have Jania go ahead and explain again the guidance first, and then more about our retail fee waiver program and how that works. Estimate amount of money that EMD, our department, will be receiving is about $6.8 million in total. So go ahead, Jania.
Good morning. Thank you, Marie. So if the guidance for COVID-19 for restaurant or food facilities is being updated currently and will be ready on our webpage, most likely by the end of this week. And it updates to what Dr. Kassirier just talked about with masking guidance. It's no longer required for vaccinated or unvaccinated individuals, but it is strongly recommended. However, our guidance has largely stayed the same in many of the other areas for basic COVID prevention measures and then also sanitary or hygienic measures in these facilities. So please check out our webpage. We can also and will also send this out to attendees so that you'll have the latest guidance, but we do keep it updated and we try to maintain it as the regulations or any of the recommendations change moving forward through the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's the update on the guidance for food facilities. And then wanted to give some information about the retail food, the retail food health permit fee waiver program. As Marie mentioned, this was approved by the board in January. We're very excited about this program. It's really intended to provide some economic relief to the retail food industry. The great part about this program is that there's nothing that the businesses need to do. This is a waiver that is being applied to the invoice when the business is invoiced for their health permit. It's automatically applied. There is no application process. There's no paperwork that's required to be submitted. So there's really nothing that you need to do in order to receive this waiver. So what are eligible businesses? Let me move this slide to the next one. So the EMD, let's see, eligible businesses are the ones that are in operation as of December 31st, 2021. So any business, any retail food business in operation as of that date will be eligible. There are just a few exceptions. One is large retail markets greater than 15,000 square feet. And then any permits that we issue that are one-time only or registration type of permits. So other than that, all food facilities or these health permits will be eligible. All others will be eligible for this waiver. This waiver only applies to retail food health permits. retail food permits from EMD are still due and payable. So these would be, for example, stormwater permits or recreational health, which is pools or spas. Those permits would still need to be paid, and they will show up on the invoice. And I have an example that I'm going to show of what that looks like. Unfortunately, ARPA funding cannot be used for past due amounts. So if there is a past due amount on the account, it is still due and payable. However, ARPA funding and the waiver will be applied for 2022 fees. And so you'll see that on the invoice as it comes due this calendar year. So this is an example of an invoice. It shows at the very top the restaurant fee that's applied. And then it shows the credit that's applied right underneath it, and it'll be for the same exact amount. For facilities that may hold multiple health permits, then there will be multiple credits that will be shown. So they'll be applied, and then the waiver applied or the credit applied. Now in this example, you can also see that there's a stormwater fee that's applied here, and there, unfortunately, ARPA doesn't, or this waiver program doesn't cover stormwater fees. So at the very bottom of the invoice is the total amount due. So it's important to look at the very bottom to make sure that you are able to pay the fee that is required to be paid if there's anything that's either rolling over, that's a past due amount, or if there's other permits that would be needed to be paid. Okay. So we have all of our staff is able to help. Please give us a call at any time, 875-8550. Also check out our webpage. We have great information on there and FAQs, so please give us a call. And then if you have any questions about your invoice, please call EMD Accounting, and this is the telephone number for that as well, and we'll drop this in the chat so that you have access to that as well. And then I just wanted to turn it over to Rolando. Is there anything else, Rolando, that I didn't add or that you would like to add?
Oh, no, you covered it all, Jania. Thank you so much.
And then also, Marie, is there anything else you'd like to add? Marie, you're on mute.
No, I always forget. So just if you have any questions about your account, past due, we're willing to work with you, put you on a payment plan. So just please call our office. And, you know, we've been working with the businesses. We know it's rough. We know it's been challenging, but the board wills it that we are using a portion of this money to help you. So I hope you find that beneficial and positive. I mean, it's not like a whole lot of money, but every little bit helps. So, and economic development has some more good news they're going to be talking about. So with that, go ahead, June.
No, thank you. I know one of the questions that has come up to us at Burke, and your staff was helpful in providing with some answers. And it had to do with, okay, when someone's permit fee comes up, it's throughout the entire year. So you might not see something in January unless your period is, you're due at January. So just so people are aware of that as well.
That's a great point. Thank you for that, June.
So yes, every retail food facility has a different billing month. Billing, we call it a billing anniversary month. So yes, everybody's different.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Jania. Thank you, Rolando. So next up, we have our Sacramento County Economic Development Department, and our presenter today is Crystal Bethke. So Crystal, please take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much. We are actually really excited to kick off our microbusiness grant program in Sacramento County, and hopefully you've already heard about it. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk us through a little bit of the website, and Lindsay is currently putting that link in the chat so that you're all able to see it. But essentially, this is a program that counties throughout the state have the opportunity to apply for through the state. And the County of Sacramento received approximately $1.9 million, and we're going to be able to give out about 669 grants to our micro business community, and those funds will be in the amount of $2,500 each. And so I'm just going to walk you through this platform right now so that if you do have the opportunity, we would encourage you to come here first before applying, which does open on April 1st. And you can see here that we've got information about the program you can walk through, and then we've got a list of eligibility, including what kind of documentation is going to be required. Because this is a $2,500 grant program geared towards our micro business community, one of the biggest focuses was making sure that this was a simple process and easy platform. So we want to make sure it's very user-friendly for everyone. We do have an extensive Q&A here so that you can scroll through and see all the details about what kind of business can apply, what the requirements are, what the application process looks like, how you would receive funding if you are selected for this grant, and what the timeline of that will be. We've also partnered with several of our local CBOs. We wanted to make sure that all of our outreach was provided in multiple languages. And so you'll see here all of our different providers and what languages that they can assist with. And one big final thing on this is that in order to make this as easy as possible, we really wanted you to be able to have the opportunity to go through almost what would be like the application. And so you can fill out this simple pre-check form right here with just a few questions. And at the end of it, depending on what your answer is, it's going to let you know if you would qualify to apply for the program and if not. And if not, we do redirect you to other resources that will be available to you. And so that's pretty much a recap on the micro business grant program. So please do put any questions in the chat there. But I do want to make sure that I point out the County of Sacramento has received funding for other grant programs. So we will be kicking off after the micro business grant program closes. We want to make sure that we're not conflicting and sending out things that might be confusing any of our small businesses. But we will be doing a $7.5 million small business and nonprofit grant program. We're hoping to kick that off at the end of May, early June. Any business that qualifies for the state grant here and or receives funding would still be eligible for the county's small business and nonprofit program. Those are separate funding sources. The county's program will be with ARPA funds. This is with, those are federal funds, and this is state funding. And so because these are our really first round of grants, we're not going to put any requirements on if you've received this, you can't receive that. So we're happy to take any questions. If you go to that webpage, we've got lots of contact information on there. So please send those through. Other than that, please set yourself a reminder that it does open on April 1st. That's all I have.
Crystal, I just have one question.
Sure.
One of the things you mentioned, just so in case people on the call don't know what that is, you mentioned CBO. What is that again?
Community-based organizations. So we partner a lot with our local chambers and other groups that are out in the community at a different level that where our staff is able to be. And so they provide a lot of in-language support services, making sure that their member base and groups get this information, and then they have assisted us in providing the technical support needed to actually complete these applications and make sure all appropriate documentation is filled out correctly and everyone understands what they're submitting.
All right, excellent. And Jamal, who's on the call, you asked about the website. It's actually in the chat. Lindsay put that in the chat if you're for reference. So hopefully you got a chance to see that. Thank you so much, Crystal. We appreciate all the information. People are very excited about the grants and the fee waivers. It's very nice for us as a county staff to be able to offer you some things that we think that will be helpful. As Marie had mentioned as well, we all understand that it's been a difficult time, and staff are really working hard to make sure you know all the resources available to you. So again, any questions, anything that was mentioned that's not clear to you, or you need more information, please let us know. And please check out the chat for additional information, telephone numbers, websites for information.
June, I do have a question that
Certainly.
maybe some may be wondering, or for the businesses that could not be on the webinar because they're working. Will this webinar be available so anyone can watch it later?
Yes, definitely. It will be available, and it will be posted on the EMD's website. And I believe Jania said it'll also be sent out, the link physically to people that qualify. Is that correct, Jania?
That is correct.
Okay, excellent. Okay, going once, going twice. Any other questions? Anything else that we can clear up for anyone? Now's the time.
I just wanted to point out very quickly in the chat, I posted some telephone numbers that we talked about. I do have another telephone number that is a much better number to use for contacting EMD. So that's 916-875-8440. So please feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. Sometimes they come up later, so please give us a call. We're happy to help out.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I see just that one question that we had. And I think other than that, thank you, everyone. Valuable information. And please, if you need to contact anyone, please look at the chat for all the information that's there, the telephone numbers, websites, as I said. So thank you, and please stay tuned. We will be having additional and other webinars to provide the community and the businesses more information. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, panelists and everyone involved, both on this call and behind the scenes. Thank you so much, and have a good day.